What's up guys, and welcome back to another video on my channel. And today I want to talk about the crypto market crash, the crypto market correction that is currently happening, and also why very likely this is still not over, and also what can be a potential good buy-in strategy. Of course, in this video I will also show you the reasons why I think that this correction likely is not over, and I would say let's get straight into this. You can see right here, currently we are in the Bitcoin chart. We already had a very nice correction right here. Let me quickly take a look how much this was. This was 27% from the dip, sorry, not from the dip, from the top to the dip. So that's 20, let's say 27% correction already. What we have also seen in the historical data, what I also have showed you, is that in the last bull market we have seen this 30 to 40% corrections. These corrections are happening from time to time. You can see that right here, between 30 to 40%. Here it is 30%, that is the smallest one. This one right here is the biggest one with 40%, and the other ones are somewhere in between the 30 to 40% range. So that is nothing that is unlikely, that is a usual pattern that we have seen. So that is nothing to worry about right now. So I always have to make this clear. I am not thinking that this is the end of the bull market. This is likely just a normal correction, and after this correction we will continue. So now let me show you the reasons why I think that this correction still is not over. Of course, you can see right now we have currently a nice turning candle right here in Bitcoin, but the daily candle close is a couple of hours away, so that is not finished yet. So that can also change, of course, to the positive and also to the negative, but that is not where I would put my main focus on right here. So first thing, that is also, you know that guys, the 21 weekly moving average that you can see right here, this blue line right here, you can see currently we are at 42,791, so almost 43k. Today it is Friday as I'm making this video. On Sunday, so Sunday to Monday, the weekly moving average will be updated, and then very likely this will go up to 44,000, 45,000, somewhere in this range, and that is then a very good potential target right here. And that is also what we have seen in the historical data. Let me also show that right here, that in these corrections we have very often visited or came close to the 21 weekly moving average. You can see that right here, right here, right here, and right here. So we have visited the 21 weekly moving average quite often in the last bull market, and currently we have not visited this since, basically since September. So that was overdue that we do this, and that is also why I think that we are aiming for the 21 weekly moving average. But that is not the only reason. The bigger reason is this one right here, my self-developed indicator, the buyer index. And you know guys, this indicator is showing us how many buyers are currently in the market. If there are too many buyers, like for example right here, so that was right before the crash back in March 2020, and when there are too many buyers, this is a bad sign, and that is showing us that very likely a bigger correction will follow in the near future. Of course, there can also happen the opposite, so that is this one right here or this one right here, so that there are very few buyers in the market, and that is of course a very positive sign. And you can see right here, we were at the very dangerous level, almost as high as back in February 2020. You can see that right here, that were the very dangerous levels right here. Currently we are correcting. Let me also zoom in a little bit. You can see it right here, we have lots of up and down and up and down. Currently we have made a bigger move to the downside right here. Then we have made another pullback. Yesterday with the drop we have made a, you can see that very tiny new low. Currently we are right here, so where the red line is. So a couple of more buyers are joining the market right now, and you can see that here, we are still, of course we have correct a little bit, but we are still very high, and that is also leading me to the conclusion that very likely this is not over yet, and that we have to make another move to kick out some more buyers. So that is why I think the most likely possible scenario right here is that this correction will continue, and the 21 weekly moving average in Bitcoin is a very good target for that, because that is a target that we were aiming for very often in the last bull market, and also that is a key target in every market. So that is why I think likely the correction is not over yet, and that this will continue, and likely we will kick out some more buyers right here. Of course, if there should be more updates on that, and if we have significant changes right here, I will update you on that first on Patreon, so there you get all the updates live and in real time. If you want to see that, then check out the first link in the video description. There you will find all the info live in real time, so all my analysis, when I'm buying, when I'm selling, everything you will find there. And then also, before we are getting to the point with the buy-in strategy, I also want to take a question right here that is from James. He has answered that, he has questioned that in the Discord community right here, and the question is basically here. Your thoughts on what if the buyer index does not correct, then what? Could we be looking at a 2 months grid down in that instead? If seen, some cryptos have correct 80% already, like EasyFi from $55 down to under $10, PandyX from $8 to $1.80. And that is a very good question, because of course it can happen that we will not correct more, but then likely it is that that this bull market is already at the very end stage of the market, and that would mean that we would go back up in the Bitcoin price, but likely there is not much power. You can see that right here. That would be something similar than we had in the last move. So we were at critical levels right here. Bitcoin was at, I think, at 63k. So let me quickly go back into the Bitcoin chart, then I can show you this exactly. So that's what basically, I think that was this high right here. So we made a new all-time high, but it was small. Then we have corrected. We have also corrected right here in the buyer index. You can see that, but not much. Then we have gone back up. We have made a new all-time high, but also not impressive. Of course, it was a new all-time high, but it was not very much. And then we are correcting again, because we were at dangerous levels again. Even made a new high right here in the buyer index, and then starting the correction. So that would be then the scenario that we are playing out. So that means not much power left. We will move up, we will move back up to the upside, but with not much power left, and likely this upside move will fail very quickly. So that would be then the scenario. And then what I also want to address right here is that when we should do this correction, so if we should continue this correction right now, this gives me more certainty that we are likely in the stage where I am comparing us to the last cycle. So that is this one right here. You can see that this one right here, where we also have done a correction that has taken a little bit longer right here. Let's take a quick look at how much we have corrected from the high to the low. That was 27% right here, so almost a 30% correction. That also took a little bit longer, and you can see right here we also had that we had here in between the correction also new all-time highs and also major pullbacks, but the correction was still not over. And if that should be the case, that is of course a positive sign for us, because then we are really pushing out some buyers out of the market, and then we have much more power for a longer continuation of this bull market, and then very likely we are not in the very end stage of the bull market. So I know that right now maybe this is painful, because you say, oh no, maybe you have a coin right now that really has dropped much, let's say 60-70%, and you are break even right now, maybe you're even sitting on a loss, and that is of course not very beautiful, and you say right now, okay, how can a correction be good? It is good in the long term. Of course, right now it can be a little bit painful. Right now you are just seeing the losses in your portfolio, and that is of course not very nice to see. But in the long term, it will be better if we are doing a bigger correction right now than just a small correction just continuing, because that would increase the chance that we are close, or that we are very in the very end stage of this bull market if we are doing a bigger correction right now. Also in terms of the time frame, so I mean that we not just correct for like 1 week and then we just move straight back up, so that we really correcting for some weeks, maybe for some months. That would be a very positive sign for the market. And with the buyer index that it was at these extreme levels, I'm also expecting something like that, so that we really have a correction that is also take some time, that we will kick out some buyers along the way, and that this correction really is cooling down the market, and that we will not just move straight back up like in the last corrections where we just dropped and then just made a new all-time high, dropped, made a new all-time high. So that is not what I'm expecting right here, and that are the reasons why I think, okay, likely this correction will take some time. I know maybe you guys would hope that I would bring you another message, but here I have to basically just watch my indicators, and my indicators give me the sign that it is the most likely that this correction will take a little bit longer and that we are correcting a little bit more. And I think right now we can also come to the next point, which is the buy-in strategy. And you can see right now that in Bitcoin we have already corrected here 27%, and that 30 to 40% is a likely correction, and that likely we will also not drop much more than 30 to 40% in Bitcoin. And if you are interested in buying Bitcoin, personally I am not interested in buying Bitcoin, because in Bitcoin I not see the biggest potential right now. But if you are, for example, interested in buying Bitcoin, then you can also use the splitting method. So that means when you see a 30% correction, you can put in the first part that you want to accumulate or that you want to put in the market. You can buy then, or you can also put in the money you want to put in. Or you say, okay, 30% correction, I will put in 50%, and when it drops to 40% correction, or when it will hit the 21 weekly moving average, I'm putting in the rest of the money. So of course, no financial advice, guys, but that is definitely a method that you can use. And also in altcoins you can also use that. We see big discounts right now in altcoins. Let's just take a look here in XRP, for example. We had a 53, almost 54% drop. Currently we are at 44%, and in altcoins normally we have this 30 to 50% corrections. So that is also a number on which you can orientate on. And if you have a coin, for example, like BTT or Holochain, so a coin that has really made parabolic price increases, that is the video that I have uploaded yesterday, that is showing that after this parabolic price increases, likely we will have a bigger correction than just the 50%. So it is likely that in this parabolic price increases we have 60, 70, sometimes even more than 70% corrections. And when you see this big discount and you say, okay, that is a solid project, I think that when the market is picking up again, that this project will also pick up again. Then is the question, of course, why do you want to gamble for another 5% or 10% if you already have a 50% discount or 60% discount? I was comparing that in the last video to the blackjack game. So when you have you get the first card is a 7, then you get a 10, and then you are at 17, and the target is to have a 21. So 21 is basically the best card that you can get. But if you are above 21, you have missed, you are out. And that is compared to a missed opportunity right here. And currently you can say you are at the 17. You have the 17, and right now is the question, do you want to gamble for the next card, where everything that is above 4 will kick you out, or you in comparison you would miss the opportunity, or did you want to take the opportunity? So that is basically the question right here. And also, as I said, you can also use the splitting method. So that is also what I have done in some of the last corrections, that when I have seen a good entry price and that I've seen, okay, we are close to the 21 weekly moving average in some altcoins that I want to accumulate, then I am taking in a part of my money, and when it drops lower, then I'm pushing in the next part of my money, so I'm getting an overall good average entry price. So that is definitely a method that you can use. So if you see a good entry price, personally I would take the opportunity and I would use the splitting method, because, you know, as I said, the Bitcoin correction likely is not over yet. And also we are in a stage where altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin, so that means we can also see that right now that the pullbacks in the altcoins are much stronger than in Bitcoin. Of course, the drops are also stronger, so that is what is expected. When Bitcoin is dropping big time, then the altcoins are also dropping. The altcoins are dropping more, but also the pullbacks will be faster, will be bigger, so the altcoins likely will recover faster. Exception here is again the parabolic price increases. So when we have a parabolic price increase and we have the 60, 70 or more percent corrections, then likely also this will take some weeks, maybe even months, till we really see a new all-time high, because then in this coin we have to also cool down a little bit. So that means, for example, if BitTorrent is something that you are interested in and you say, okay, right now is a very good price, right now I'm accumulating, don't expect this to directly pump and make a new all-time high. It is much more likely that this sideways movement will continue for a while, that we will really have a cooling down. This, as I said, this can take weeks, this can take months, and after that period, then it is likely that we see a new all-time high. So that's also what I want to say right here. So summarized, we can say that likely the correction in Bitcoin is not over, and we are still aiming for the between 43,000 to 45,000, because that is the target where the 21 weekly moving average is. I am also expecting the buyer index to kick out some more buyers, that we get here to much lower levels right here. That is also what I'm expecting, and that is likely for me. But also, if there should be an altcoin that you are interested in, or also an altcoin that I would be interested in, and I see a good discount right now, so we are talking about 40%, 50%, in some even 70 to 80%, and I think that is a solid project that will also do well in the continuation of this bull market, then I would take this chance. And that is of course no financial advice, you know that, guys, but that is how I would act. And of course, if there should be changes, and also when I think that the Bitcoin correction and the general market correction is over, or if we should have significant changes right here in the buyer index, then of course I will update you on this. As I said, first you will get the updates on Patreon, that is the first link in the video description, but also from time to time I will update you right here on YouTube. But that is of course taking a little bit more time, because I can write a text faster on Patreon than produce a whole video. Plus also, of course, on Patreon you get extra content that you won't get here on YouTube, plus you support the channel. So that is basically what I want to put out there. And if you have another opinion, then also feel free to write them down in the comments. But it would also be nice if you add a reason to that, and not just say no, you're wrong, we will just go up. That it would also be nice to add a reason to that, so that there is some proof in your comments and in your thoughts. So that would be really appreciated. And if this video was helpful, then please leave a like. Also make sure to subscribe to this channel so you won't miss out any future updates, and also make sure to check out the first link in the video description. That is my Patreon account. That's it for this video. See you in the next one, and as always, have a nice day.